put it here and then put it here. Sorry, trying to find the AI companion, but they don't have it in the share screen mode. Okay. Uh, this is week 22 of our framework course, protecting assessment, assessment integrity. Um, this is the intro here. Simon says install a waterproof membrane on the roof to protect your course from gaps. Waterproof membrane. I guess that's this stuff. Looks just like a roof. What, Poppy, help me out here. This was
Hey,
this
Don,
was Chat GPT thinking,
This is
looking at this image.
this is not a waterproof membrane. This is some kind of rigid uh, insulation.
That's what it looked like to me too.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of a sheathing material and more than it looks like a foam board.
isn't
yes.
that the stuff
That's
they
okay.
forgot?
We can call it a waterproof membrane.
No, that's a little behind the scenes. I took all these images and put them into ChatGPT and had them try to, make something based on the image, and then that's so the AI saw this image and thought this was
I
a
see.
waterproof. And I don't know anything about building things, so I just like, okay, yeah, that sounds good.
I
That
think they
looks like a
forgot
roof.
that.
It looks like
Looks
a
like a
roof.
roof that's going to have to be replaced in about 6 months.
Yep. Well, what building 11? 11? They forgot to put it in. That's how the servers got all wet. Is that right?
Oh, really?
Was there a hole in there, Don?
From the ice, yeah,
Is that why y'all
in
had
the
to move
server room.
buildings?
Now,
Oh
this
no,
is where all the
building.
server equipment's at,
Oh yeah, right, right.
the infrastructure. And the big
IT's
storm
in
we
there.
had, all the rain.
Really?
Yep.
The big outage of 2024?
So this is, I mean, it's not waterproof. It's what they call vapor barrier. So what that it is sheeting. It's like it's not plywood. It's OSB, like the particle. Well, no, it's not like the chips of wood that are glued together into a sheet.
Hmm.
And then they do put there's like some type of I don't know what the coating is. It's some type of coating, the green and the reddish color, and then the tape in between the sheets. So it serves as a vapor barrier in the same way that like uh, tar paper or that like built that the like plastic it is a Tyvek wrapping that they used to use like a Tyvek wrapping around houses, but now it's very common that they use this technique. So it's a vapor barrier, certainly not waterproof, but
Water resistant?
yeah, resistant. Like if it rains on it, it's not gonna um expand. The water won't
Hmm.
get into it and expand and stuff like that.
All right.
It
So
won't suck it up like OSB does.
Right.
we're learning all about
There
building.
is a difference between
I like it.
vapor barrier and waterproof proofing because vapor barriers are to keep the vapor either in or out. So the vapor, because in vapor are water particles, and so the trick is you want if it's got water in the particles, vapor, you want it to go through either stop outside or go through the where your studs are and into the house. You do not want it to stop in between the studs because that's how you get mold.
Mm.
Yeah, that's one of my hardest things to specify is either it's a vapor barrier, a water barrier, or a air barrier.
Mm.
And to specify them and to say what is what and where to put it. And so, yeah,
Very, very interesting things to think about.
Sounds
Um,
like the quiz word should be barrier.
it's a good idea, Dom. I like that. Okay, so let me
that's a hard one to spell.
All right. Okay. We'll get to that later. Let's talk about our intro here. So, um, this week we're focusing on installing a waterproof barrier, uh, or a at least mold proof or whatever we decided on the roof to protect your course from gaps. By providing students with opportunities to explore and reflect on how module level objectives connect to course level outcomes, and by aligning assessments with program level outcomes, you seal your instructional design against leaks that could undermine student progress. I like that analogy. The final layer is of protection ensures that the entire structure, from daily tasks to overarching goals, works harmoniously to support learning. Our objective this week, offer students space to reflect on how course components align and verify your assessments linked to program level outcomes, strengthening and overall integrity. This is going to be our last week talking about alignment. I know we've been talking about it a lot, uh, but that's one of the most important things you can do is make sure that everything is aligned so that your students know what they're getting into, you know how to assess so that it shows that your students are meeting outcomes of your course. And our speaking of alignment, we're looking at responsibility this week as a college-wide learning outcome. We're still implementing curriculum and assessments for the B4 for the skill standards, and we're just calling this one assessment alignment for the CLO. And you all are here. We'll put the recording up there later. And let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so 3.1c, if I'm looking at the indicator here, course includes one or more opportunities for students to explore and reflect on the relationship between module level objectives and course level outcomes. This looks so familiar to me. I feel like we've done this already, but let me check. So, alignment with program level outcomes. Wasn't it this one? 1.3. Oh no, this was the reflection. So this was a different one. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all read this one real quick, and then we can talk about it, and then we'll look at the assignments. All right, so pretty short here, just letting you all know about the reflections and giving your students a chance to reflect on the alignment in your class. I don't know many people who do this. I'm curious if anybody in here has any. I, I think we've talked about it before, but I'm not sure if it was with the people in here or not. It was something very similar to this. Does anyone have, well, so first thing here, sharing your course map document outline or other graphic illustrating how all of your components of your course work together. Does anybody do that in here?
I haven't.
You haven't? Have you ever considered it?
Be honest, thought never crossed my mind.
Hmm.
More concentrated on getting their skills to where they need to be successful.
Okay. just
I talk,
working. Yeah, go ahead.
I I share with my students how what I'm teaching them correlates to what Rosh is teaching them and correlates to how it goes ahead, but I haven't ever shared my program map. We just talk about how it's organized so that it gels.
Yeah, Poppy, I know that you've shown it before where you
Yeah,
when
I
you give an
relate.
assignment, you list the CLOs.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah. But there, it's more than that. I also
Whoa,
talk about Rosh's classes.
you guys, I am
Whoa.
bug I am bugging
Been
right now.
hacked. You've been hacked.
Whoa, DeepSeek, I didn't do it. I didn't use it. What is happening? That's crazy. This is a new computer. Hold on, I gotta turn this off. I don't want
I know
anybody to.
that assignment just worked for my students, Don.
Yeah, what are y'all doing over there?
Yep. They met the outcome. We're good.
This is all some elaborate ruse.
You know, I was gonna add to what Don's saying. With what we teach, it varies and fluctuates so quickly
Mhm.
that the outcomes are the outcomes, but it's hard to focus on that when we're trying to stay on top of what's happening today. You know,
Mm,
in IT and cybersecurity, in the areas that we focus on. The goal is to get them to the outcomes. They obviously know, that the goal is to get them employed,
hmm
but we have such quickly changing curriculum. It's hard for us to do to 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 set a course map document and be able to share it with the students and keep it.
Up
um
to date.
yeah, exactly.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's just the nature of y'all's
But we
program
do
in
have,
particular.
as Don said, quarter to quarter, it's building blocks. It's very, the students know, um, for example, course A is the first course they take, and the next quarter they're in course B. That builds on course A.
Hmm
So it somewhat, I guess, it's somewhat, uh, transparent to them. Do
hmm
you get what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I was thinking too, like if the students are going, when they sign up, they get the sheet that has all of the courses that they need to take. And so in that way, at least they have, in the pathway, they have the map of, all the courses they need to take. Um, so at least as a college, we have that. I'm
I
just
had
trying to think. Yeah, go ahead.
I had a student actually today ask me a question in lab that, what command should I be focusing on at this point, right? I'm like, well, we're in week 5. We're still early. We're still kind of crawling, not walking yet.
Hmm
But, here are your base commands. And I showed them to him. I have a document on the share that they use. And he said, well, when am I going to use this stuff? What am I ever going to use this for? And I said, well, let me show you something. So I opened up a project from Advanced Linux or Linux 2 and showed him how those commands are going to correlate to that next class. And why are they going to do that? Because that's used in industry. And why
hmm
or where? Here, Yahoo uses it, Comcast uses it. Um, and then the student was like, "Oh, it totally makes sense to me," but I had to kind of spell it out for him, but it was there.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? It was all
So
there.
yeah, so if following that same kind of interaction and way, do you, because the way that he approached you, and I'm thinking reactive, you said here, you mapped it out for him and said, we're going to use it next class. You're going to need this in industry, which is all right and good. And I think that's, the best way that you could have done it for that situation. But what about proactively showing them where all that comes in? Or do
It,
you think that would be information overload?
it
I'm
would
worried
be
that might
because
be,
they would try to get to the angle immediately and all hell
yeah.
would break loose instead of building it in blocks. Like Don said, we do a lot of, building blocks.
Hmm.
step by step to get them to the goal,
Yeah.
whatever it is. What building a firewall with the Linux machine, or setting up a web server with Windows, or building a domain controller, whatever that is, we have to build it in blocks. Um, and I've had this happen where I've told the students, we're starting here, but our goal is so you can do this. I want you to be able to build this, and they go right to it.
Hmm.
Like I give them a project and I tell them right off the bat, okay, here's what's going to be in your project, and I want you to design using Visio a network map, including these servers. I want you to draw it out. I show them how to use Visio. They have access to it through the college, and they build it. And then I tell them we'll be using that throughout the quarter. And I give them that map and I tell them this is part of the project that will be given to you in 3 stages.
Mm.
We will go through them one at a time. There's like 5 to 6 steps per stage. We will go through each step together as a class. Do you know how many students I have that contact me and say, I don't know how I'm going to build all these because this crashed and this didn't work and I don't know how to do this? And I'm like, whoa, stop.
Mm.
You don't have to build it yet. We're just drawing it, we're drawing
Right.
it out. So I had to go back and reword everything to make sure it stated we are only drawing this network out. We're only drawing it. This is documentation. Then we will fill in the blanks as we go through each step as a class.
Mm.
And then it stopped, right? Then I didn't have that. But I still have students who want to jump to the end and they're not going through the work. They're just trying to find the quick way to get to the objective, and then it's not set up right, or it doesn't run
Mm.
right, or it
Yeah.
crashes, or it's vulnerable, which happens all the time. So
Trying to.
you know what I mean? Like I don't want to throw too much at them, and I don't want them to just automatically try. I mean, it's okay if you want to go try it, go for it, but if you don't build it in the right order, it's going to cause you problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I think especially for your program, if you got to learn this before you learn that, otherwise it's going to break the whole system.
Oh
So,
yeah, no, we had an actual situation where um, one of our okay, so one of our students is the son of somebody we all know who owns a company. And his son went through our program and had a bad habit of just jumping through, not reading, just doing step by step, click, 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 done. Okay, wow, I'm done. Okay, tell me what you just built. I don't know.
mm,
So we went through this with them, right? And then they got a job. His dad hired him. They got a job where they had to put kiosks out. They built these computer kiosks for like malls, or to go in malls and places for banks, right? And there's a specific order that you have to install everything. And if you don't, it causes problems. Well, he had hired 3 graduates. They built the kiosks. One of them got done way quick. The other 2 did not. It took them days. They delivered them, and that night he got a phone call saying a third of them were failing,
oh,
and it was leaving customers login information on the screen.
yikes.
And you know what it was? It was his son. He fired his son
Oh my God.
over it. No, I'm serious. But there's an example of somebody trying to jump to the end and not trying, not going through the steps properly, but just trying to get to the end result. And that's what in our industry, that's what scares me,
Yeah,
you
people
know?
just not doing the necessary due diligence.
Right. Right. So they're building blocks. We call them building blocks, really, is what we do.
I foresee working with y'all in the future on a graphic syllabus where it's like Legos and it's
That would be
like
cool.
almost like a real visual, like, okay, here's this, then you got to do this, then you got to do, well, like because it's the same
Yeah.
thing when you're working on a Lego set, you can't just like you have the box, you know what it's going to look like at the end. You have a
Yeah.
bunch of pieces. Uh, if you just try to put it together based on what the box looks like, or if
Yeah.
you try to start a section of it, of whatever the model is, ahead of, the other parts where you need, like there's interior parts that you don't even see that you have to put together.
Yep.
Um,
Like put the dash in the car
I
first.
yeah, exactly. So and I think it's pretty similar to all programs. Like there's always going to be some sort of flow or steps that you need to follow.
Mhm.
And I think, there at the same time there's also other ways to do things, but going over
Right.
those steps first. And like I don't know, I think what I said earlier, you don't want to overload them, especially at the beginning.
Right.
Um, letting them know the course learning outcomes, that's pretty standard. That's like showing them the box and saying like,
Yeah.
here's what by the end of this course, you're gonna have whatever this is, right? And then, um, but I do think, checking in, if you give them the course learning outcomes at the beginning, and
Yeah.
hopefully you're, matching them and saying like, this is why we're doing this, is because of, this is what we expect by the time you finish the program,
Yeah.
because once you finish this program, you're going to go out and you're going to use the same skills. But um, I think what this, at least for this indicator,
Yeah.
is just saying if you do have the course map, um, share it with them. Like most of the time, students aren't even going to care about it, but maybe there are
Right.
students like that one that asked you, like, "Hey, why are you doing this?" If
Mhm.
you had a program map where you've got the building blocks, if you had a graphic syllabi where you've got, this to this to this to this, then you can say, okay, we're here right now. This is the block that we're working on now. If we don't have this block here, then, 5 steps later, we're going to run into a problem because
Yeah.
we don't have that here. And so, being able to show that to them,
Oh yeah.
and then and especially for this indicator, like having the conversation with them. This one's saying, um, what to say here? Share your document, graphic, whatever, and then
Right.
ask students to reflect on the assessments. If they feel like uh, they're meeting, or not if they're meeting the outcome, maybe if they're meeting the objective,
Right.
if the objective, if they feel the objective of whatever the module is matches to where they should be in terms
Mhm.
of learning the outcomes, or,
Right.
being able to do whatever the outcome is. Um,
Well, we have the outcomes in our syllabi, right?
we should.
And I'll be honest with you, what's frustrating to me is we there are more outcomes that really like my courses teach than what I list because I was limited. Like I do
Oh,
you understand what I'm saying? Like
yes,
I
yes.
was flat out told you can only have X amount of outcomes. Well, which ones do I pick? I need them all, right?
Right. Yeah. You showed the stuff you use from the textbook,
Yep.
and that's a bunch. I saw
Yeah,
that
it's a
list. It
ton.
was
It's a ton.
it was like 20, or I don't know. It seemed like a lot,
I
but
really tried to like take those and then come up with like what was it, five or I think it was 4 to 6 we were told. I tried to come up with generic outcomes that met that, and I still don't feel like it was enough, right?
mm,
Because of what industry's asking. Industry asks a lot, right?
yeah.
So the best I can do is point them to real world scenarios or what they deal with in the real world. Oh, at the data center we have this, or in banks they use that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're limited, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. And yeah, you're getting it from, this is a textbook where it's directly related to industry. And so they have expectations of what students need to accomplish at that point in the course.
Right.
I don't, maybe, yeah, that's tricky because, you don't want to do too much course learning outcome adjustments, because then you have to go through a whole process to have those reflected. And as you were saying, in your industry is always changing. So it's like hard to know if the course learning outcome that you set up, that you go, because not, there's course learning outcome. That's writing it down and your students are seeing it, but then also you have to be able to back it up in the class.
Right.
You need to have assessments that are directly linked to that course learning outcome. And so that's a
Like
lot
I
of
said,
work.
can they do it or can they not?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously, I mean, in a lot of, I can't say our program, in a lot of programs, it's either are they able to achieve, make it happen or not. That really is the objective, and that's the outcome that we're shooting for. Can they
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the benefits of being at a technical college is
Right.
it's a lot of like, doing the stuff, as opposed to, maybe another, I'm thinking of the humanities is more like thought provoking, thinking about things. What are your opinions about this? Um, as opposed to actually just doing the thing. So,
Oh yeah.
um, in that way, I mean, I know we're in this course and we're learning about ways to make things more effective, but I think at the, you know, most basic level, as long as your students are able to do the things that you kind of set out for them to do, then I think they're going to be okay. So, all right, real quick here. Hopefully my camera doesn't start wigging out again. Let's see. They look fine for now. I'm gonna turn this off. Okay. Hoot, hoot. It was the one earlier. We said it. I changed it.
Holy cow. Oh, you
Is this
changed it.
backwards?
Okay. Does it
Yeah.
does it start with a B or a R?
Yeah, right? It's backwards, right? Hold on. Just
No,
wait.
it's okay. I can see. It's
Shoot.
fine.
There
No,
we
it's
go.
not backwards.
It's not now it's backwards?
It looks like it's
Uh,
an ASCII though.
Which way is the what?
it's
Huh?
all
Ones and zeros, binary.
is it
No,
all
it's not.
lowercase?
It's all lowercase and it's not binary.
We
Oh
hacked the
wow.
password. We hacked it. We hacked it.
I like I like this group.
You
Okay.
social engineered it. That's
Yeah,
what you just did, Midnick.
this is open education pedagogy where you let the students make the rules for the class.
Ungrading.
Yeah, right. All right. Let's move on now to
Find it.
3.1D.
Yeah.
Oh, just to recap, I don't think I went over the assignments. So, there was that course map document, sharing that with the students. I think I've seen that before, as a way to show that you've met the indicator. Discussion, assignment, or quiz to provide space for students to share how they think the assessments in your course connect. I mean, I would only really this only comes into play if you think that there's something that needs to be adjusted anyways. Um, I mean, it's always good to get the student perspective, right? And see what they think. And it doesn't seem too much extra to have something like I mentioned before in a previous class about an exit ticket and saying like, um, how do you feel that what you worked on today fits into the whole course, how it fits into the program? Um, how do you foresee using these skills in the future? Um, and then using that as a way to start a discussion at the start of the next class. So like if you're at the end of a class, like some people finish their assignments early, or they'll finish their quiz or whatever they're working on, and then um, if they're done early and they're still in class, then you might as well take that time if they have extra time to kind of pick their brain and see, like I said, from the student perspective, because we all as teachers have we know it. And we know if the students are doing it, so that's good. But we don't really know what's going on in our students' heads. And so adding in reflection points, um, or like places where your students can reflect on their learning, that metacognition, and seeing how it fits into the real world. I think it's just going to benefit you as an instructor because the students are going to be more like they're going to be more aware about how this is benefiting them. You know what I mean? Like you gave the example, Kelly, of the guy who's like, I'm just going to do this stuff. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to follow the instructions. And he did it. And you were like, what'd you do? And he's like, I don't know, just did it.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like this type
I
of,
made him do it again with me though, one on one.
but I feel
I
like this
did.
type of thing where you're like, if you're having those conversations with the students, then it preemptively prevents those things from occurring. Well, I mean,
It helps.
yeah, I mean it'll help because you're like I said, your students are going to get a more clearer um understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. So
I do like the, how do you see yourself using this when you go to work, when you graduate and get a job?
yeah.
I like that. I I'm
And
gonna
that's a
try that.
simple one if you could just like and that's a simple one that you don't even need to change. And you could just tack it on at the end of each assignment and you could add it on as, you know, ungraded, not extra credit because we talked about extra credit. Um, just adding it on for the students for themselves. Like if you can explain to them
I
the benefits
Yeah.
of reflection, or take 5% of whatever the assignment is, and then just ask that question if they can do the reflection, um, then because you might say, oh, that's not really the point of what we're trying to do. Um, but I'll argue that it is it is part of it because students thinking about their learning is part of the learning process.
I have the students actually answer that. Like, how do you feel this module will help you when you graduate and go to work? They turn in a weekly report, tell me what they did that week, and I have them put that in their weekly report.
So you're
And
already doing it. I asked y'all if y'all
that's
doing it, and
why.
you're like, no, I don't do it.
No,
But
that question though, that's why I wrote it in the chat. That's the one I like because that's what I do.
okay.
And I get some students who know exactly, and I get some students who go, I don't know, you should tell me.
Hmm.
Okay, well, the next class we're going to talk about that.
Exactly. And
I
then you
start
can
class
use,
with it.
and then you've got a class full of, responses. You pick the ones that you like. You point out those students that are giving you like they're getting it, and say, hey, John gets it, right? Like we did this last class. John said that by being able to do this, I can now do this at this job. That's it. He gets it. And then, that's kind of positive reinforcement. The other students see that and they're like, oh, I want to get recognition like John's getting. And so they're gonna, you know, try to do try to think more critically about it and then, give better
That's
results
true.
than I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I know we talked about this not from the assessments perspective. Moving on to indicator 3.1D. We talked about it from the module. So we've done, I always do the V here. Um, Assessments here aligning with the program level outcomes. I think if you've done the work to align it with your course level outcomes, then the work is already done to align it with the program level outcome, right? It's just adding it down. Here's my program. In this course, we're going to do this, pop, 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 pop. Then we're going to do here in each module, and then the assessments. It all just kind of fits into place. Let me give you all a second here to read this indicator and assignment, and then I'll come back and then we can talk about it. All right, so I'm thinking for the rest of the time that we have together, maybe we can look at what y'all have in your courses if you're willing to share. Um, it can go either way. If you feel like you have an assessment in your course that is perfectly aligned with a program level outcome, share, tell us what you did. Um, like I said, we already saw Poppy. She's all of her assignments are linked to the course learning outcomes, right?
Yes. And
Do
I also just did what I had to do whatever the PLO assessment or CLO assessment
mm-hmm.
for I just did one for fall quarter and
Can you share that? I mean, if it's okay, if it's
I
not
don't
like
know how
proprietary or
well no it's keep talking and I'll see if I can find it. I because you do it online or
oh, is it not? Usually it's an Excel file. Did she didn't email you something?
changed it. Now it's a
No,
form you fill
yeah,
out.
it's a form. And
Oh, I did not
But
you
know
I
that.
used to be
can't,
able to get hold of them.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm not a
Yeah.
good
I can't
person.
find ours, Don.
Well, they used to be under the assessment committee's team, but
Uh-huh.
because of the new information that was added, apparently, all assessment committee members, basically the majority of them, were removed and added to the new CWO work group team.
Oh,
So we no longer have access to all the previous assessments.
really?
There was a place that Snowy had said where we could find our original ones,
Mm-hmm.
ones that we submit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but not everybody else's. And I'm not sure where that's at.
If you log in to like Outlook online, like Office 365 or whatever, like your Outlook, your email, through the online portal, not through like the desktop app,
Mm-hmm.
and then click the waffle, I think it is, and then click on forms. The forms you submitted should be there.
Oh, look at Derek coming in.
That's how I've accessed them in the past.
Ah,
Like,
yeah, I see it. It says here, I'll show you. My shot. Did I share? Stop sharing. Hold on. If I, I'll walk through that process. So cptc.edu.
Hold on. Ah, ah,
Take your
good.
time.
These screens open.
I was gonna try to see if it was somewhere in here, but
I found one of my course ones
Oh,
for NOS 205
I didn't
from
even
winter.
have to authenticate that time. That was weird.
How'd you get?
How
did you
I can't.
are you already logged in? Are you logged into your browser, Don?
I wasn't. Well, I'm logged into Canvas, so maybe I
How
got
do
to
we
pass
get
through.
to our I
All right, so check this out.
SharePoint and Okta
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, I can tell
Outlook
you that. So
software?
check it out. When we're at the Clover Park website, we're gonna go into email, and you should be able to this is my email. Let me see that. Once you get into email, as Derek said, there's a little thing up here in the top left. And then you click on forms, and then forms, you've got forms that you've made, but then also if you go here to filled forms, then you can find ones that you've already done, hypothetically.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them. Not the ones from
The one that you just did from the
the
fall?
ones that we've done in the past.
Oh, the
Last
one you
quarter
did
and
in
the
the
quarter
past were
before.
not forms, so
Well,
those
they
ones.
were. They switched the form thing input a couple quarters ago, I thought.
Oh.
Yeah.
for course assessments.
I have
Okay.
I have one. My
Okay.
course learning outcome assessment report. I have a copy of it.
Can we
It
look at
gives
that?
you it gives you the ability to save them,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I started doing, but I don't know
Yeah.
where I saved them at.
Yeah, this is bizarre. This is really
It's classic.
yeah, I don't see I click on forms and it's not giving me much. I don't even know what that could show. It's not showing me. It says welcome to forms.
Can you
It
share your
says
screen? Because
yeah, yeah.
I'm curious to see what
Yeah,
you
hold on. I will share my screen. So let me do it this way first. I have a habit of just sharing everything. Okay. When I went into my email, I clicked up here, click forms.
Yep.
This is what I got.
All right, go down a little bit.
That was the problem. There is no down.
Oh, there's no down.
No,
Oh.
this is it.
Uh, hmm,
I know.
interesting. That's it.
I
They don't
don't
give you.
belong. I don't belong.
Let's try click on one of these. Click on
Here
the
I am. Here I
quiz.
am talking, and I got my mic muted. Are you logged in with your Clover Park account, Kelly?
Yeah.
Because I see PC Guru up there.
Yeah. No, that's something else. Watch. So I'm logged in as me. See that?
Right.
That's
Okay.
me.
Yep. That's you.
Okay. So I come over here,
Uh-huh.
click on forms, right?
Yeah. Should be on you.
And Don's saying this shouldn't. That's my.
No, no, no.
Yeah, okay,
Try
yeah,
click
that's it.
quiz. There's something going on in the back. I see some shapes. Okay,
Let me
hold on.
click quiz.
Okay.
Untitled.
Now click forms in the top left. Yeah, click on that. There we go.
Yeah,
Close out of that. I got it.
I found
Now go to filled
Yeah,
forms,
that's what I
Kelly.
see.
I
Build
got mine.
form.
It's
I
in the
had,
oh,
Right here.
Poppy, you got it?
yeah,
Yeah, fill form says you ain't got nothing.
What?
Yeah, and you see all your team memberships.
Yeah.
Go to shared with me real quick. I'm just curious if like it got shared. No, dang. Okay.
I have been receiving emails about early retirement lately.
10 months, 8 days.
I'm so jealous. I mean,
are you gonna get a buyout? It's a,
that's good for you, Don. Oh no, I don't plan on ever leaving.
If they got a buyout, I will definitely think about that.
all right.
Yeah.
Do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, if you can, if
I-
Kelly, you can
Is this what you were talking about?
that is what I was
That's
talking
the
about.
old one.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
old one.
This is what I do is I do it online and then I actually put it in one of these so I have a copy of it.
Smart.
And that's pretty much what I've been doing and all that cool stuff. But yeah,
For
I'll
anybody
stop
watching
sharing.
this later on, do like Kelly does and try not to lose the file.
Yeah, no, it looks like I've lost a few. So let me stop sharing. Oh, it's up here. Stop. Okay. We're good,
That's always the
Poppy.
hardest part is when we do all these works, all these extra documents, where can we put them? Where's a good place to put them? I just have
OneDrive
a
and Hope.
CBTC folder and then I just kind of toss it all in there and hope the search works.
All right,
Yeah.
so here's mine. So if I go to my page
Yep.
here, and then I clicked on forms, and this came up, and I do have all these.
Oh, look
Wow.
at that.
And
Recent.
here's the one, the
Filled
recent
form.
one. So this was my assessment report that I did late, but I turned
Yeah.
it yesterday.
Hey,
And that's
better
this
late than
right
never.
here.
Oh crap! I didn't do mine. Oops.
All right.
Yeah, well, I finally did mine yesterday. So this was for fall. And then, you have to put this stuff in and what it's for.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is actually where what I wanted to talk to us about, what I wanted everyone to look at. So we've got the CLO. So you've selected one CLO that is aligned with the PLO,
Yes.
right? We've got that. So create building permittable construction drawings by integrating formats of architectural design. Okay.
Okay. And
Yada,
then
yada, yada.
that, yeah. And then teaching and learning strategies. I basically copied this out of one of those spreadsheets that Kelly just showed us. Or
Okay. Yes,
And I
good.
just say I have lecture based on reading and textbook, demonstration, videos, and peer discussions.
Looking good.
And then assessment tool, I say students take assigned chapter Canvas quizzes to assess their understanding of the chapter's content. And then they also, because that spreadsheet was good because you did sub whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but so then I just made 2 sentences and I said they also work as a team to create a set of construction documents for a client and submit the home for permitting. So they have to go through
Mm,
the whole process as if they were taking a set of plans for a client and getting a building permit. And
love it.
and
Great.
then I said results of the assessment. So 20 out of 22 of them completed the You Are the Designer Team project. There was an average grade of 95.5 out of 100.
Not bad.
And then leading to student success, attending during lectures and attendance, and active participation during labs and team meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And then how am I still want to, I really want to tilt my assignments, but updating course learning outcomes. And
So let me ask you this. What are you thinking about if you're writing that you want to tilt it more? What's missing, I
well, I
guess?
can show you the assignment and I liked way back yeah, um, when they tell you, when there was at one, in service or something where somebody did a presentation on tilting. I think it was Diane.
Mm,
And it's like comparing an assignment that's not tilted to one that is, where it clearly states, what are you doing? This is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing it, and this is how we're going to do it, and this is how it relates to the program, and this is, and
everything we're talking about. Yeah.
yeah,
But
exactly.
I thought it, based on what you showed us a couple weeks ago, it seems like you're already starting to do that, or like a lot of your assignments already have that on it.
Well, not, I keep updating them and
Uh-huh.
adding more information, but then the students will say, well, how are we going to do this? I kind of base it on how many questions they ask to be able to do the assignment correctly. And if they get it and what they turn in is great, then I'll say, okay, this one's done. This is,
Yes.
if they don't get it and they have to ask a lot of questions and clarification, then
Then you have to adjust it. That's good. I
so
It sounds like you've already got, I mean,
yeah, well, this is just between all of us here.
mhm,
I was late in doing this, and so it's like, okay, yeah, I'll pick that one. This, and you don't have to answer this last question.
mhm.
It's like,
Oh, these are optional.
oh yeah, these ones were optional, and so I basically left them. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No worries. No judgments here. Um, Thank you for sharing. I think I think what you're doing and the way you do it, Poppy, is the right way. Um, it's it's where if you feel like you said, a lot of people are asking questions, the students aren't getting it, the finished product is not what you envisioned for your students to do, then it's like, okay, what can I do to adjust this to make this better next time?
yeah.
Uh, if if everything's, working well, then, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I've heard that
but
one. So,
but this particular assignment here, that You Are the Designer, is the
yep.
one I was talking about a few weeks ago. How do you get
The
teams to learn?
teamwork
Yeah.
one. Yes, right. I remember that conversation. So,
I've got another team one that I do starting up after I just did midterms this week. So
mhm.
starting next week, I'm starting this other team project, which is
How do you anticipate that one going?
we'll track it and see how it
Well,
goes.
track it. Yeah, let's go. Let's try to incorporate some of this stuff
Yeah.
um that we're talking about. So, okay. Thank you, Bobby. Do you feel just to finish and wrap it and link it to what we just talked about. Do you feel like that assignment relates or is aligned to your program learning outcomes? I know you
Yeah,
wrote
because I
down that
had
it's the
to
CLO.
actually say what program outcome it aligns with, and it shows that, oh my God, where? Let's see. If I do,
Is that listed at the top?
Oh
The
yeah, didn't we
outcome.
see it? It said
here,
something,
Yeah.
right?
let me share this again because whoops, share. All right, so here's the outcome and assessment page,
Mm-hmm.
and
And then
where
the
is it?
program assessment map, I think, is the
Where's, well, that, what I'm looking for is maybe the, yeah, there we go. Okay,
yes.
yeah, so here's the one I just did for fall. Was this the 120? And the program was create a complete set of construction documents that satisfy
Hmm.
permitting requirements for single family home.
Yep.
So
Boom.
totally that, I mean, that's,
It's exactly what they need to do.
yeah,
Nice. And they're doing it at an early class too.
yeah, that's,
Introductory.
yeah.
Hey, hey,
And
Poppy, while I have you here, maybe it'll save me sending you an email. So I'm working with Snowy with um, the PLO reports that the programs did at the Outcomes and Assessment Day. And on that report, you and Rasha indicated that you wanted to update PLOs and update your program assessment map. Is that true, or did you
yes,
just okay, you do want to do that?
yes.
Okay. All right. You'll be receiving an email from me then.
All righty, yeah, to update these, right? These,
Yes, yes.
Man,
Yep.
that sounded like a threat.
Right? You will be receiving an email
yes,
from
yeah,
our lawyers.
It's all recorded, so we know it's coming.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
So it'll be a nicely worded. I'm here to help.
Ah, well
thank
Yeah,
fun.
Kelly, we weren't on the list for fall. That's
Thank
why we didn't have
goodness.
any.
I I'm so used to doing it, I panicked.
I'm like,
We
wait a
are on the
minute.
list for winter, though.
Oh,
Mm,
what course is that?
At least I'm on the list for winter. I don't know if everyone is.
That's what, no, this is, oh, I could, no, it depends on, because I just got a deal from Snowy or Chris, but it, on here, let me, sorry, share again, because on here, this is what we did in, you know, our outcome and assessment day planning thing. So it tells us right here, I just did this one. And then, so winter, I have to do this one, ARC 219.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's
mm,
off the plan.
bring, yeah, so that's,
I think
tell,
that's the stuff we kind of did on the outcomes and assessment day.
yeah. Yeah, so if I can ever remember how to get back to all of this other stuff, yeah.
well, I'm just impressed you found the you were able to get the forms working because other people like
Yeah,
Kelly couldn't see them.
Well,
So
yeah,
I actually found one on there as well, but it was from 2023.
the
So it
form?
might have been, yeah, it might have been a pilot for
Mm,
this.
okay. Anyways,
yeah.
I know we're reaching the hour, and I know y'all have other stuff that y'all got to be doing. So I just want to take this moment to say thank y'all for coming and reflections in your courses on alignment. It's maybe not the most important thing to do, but if you are looking for ways to adjust your courses and assessments, then it's a good way to get that insight from the students. and just to kind of check to make sure that you see the alignment, but do they see the alignment? So have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.
See y'all next time.
Right on. Thank
Have a good
you.
one. Later.
Yep. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.